Just like Any Mother, Chapter 6 of the book, Betel Nuts and Other Stories by Simeon G. Silverio, Jr. If there is a person that can aptly be called the son of a bitch, which in Filipino is synonymous to the phrase the son of a whore, anak ng puta, it would be Tikboy. Tikboy was one of Simeon's playmates on Platerius Street, where Simeon lived with his family on the second floor of his father's printing business in the Quiapo, Manila in the Philippines in 1957. Simeon was 10 years old then. Tikboy's mother, Purita, worked as a prostitute in a brothel across the street from Simeon's house. The prostitution den had been in operation since before anyone could remember, presumably because the authorities were on the take. Purita, a matronly-type woman with a voluptuous body, moved into one room on the second floor of a building beside the whorehouse with her 10-year-old son, Tikboy, and 7-year-old daughter, Anna, during the summer of 1957. She was a classic beauty with Indian features: dark long hair, deep black eyes, sharp nose, pouty lips, and prominent cheekbones. She may have been heavy-set, but her body was curvaceous, with large breasts and a small waist. Simeon never knew whether she was a widow or separated from her husband. One morning, Simeon played a card game called Tex with Tikboy. A Tex is a 2-inch by 3-inch card that has a comic strip drawing and dialogue balloon. Each frame has a number printed on the upper right-hand corner. Placing the frames in sequence, one can read the complete story just like a comic strip. There are 3 ways to play the game. One can play the game Lucky 9 with it. Another game variation is played by shuffling the cards and putting 2 cards down. The one who chooses the card with the higher number wins the bet. For the final game, 2 players choose their respective cards. The cards are placed on top of a closed fist, and when one flips up his end finger, the cards are tossed up in the air. Whichever card falls face up on the ground wins the bet. Tikboy and Simeon started with 100 cards each. During the first game, Simeon was able to win over all of Tikboy's cards, but then Tikboy wanted to play once more and get his cards back, plus Simeon's. Tikboy bought back his 100 cards for 1 peso, and they played again. But Tikboy lost the second game again. Still, Tikboy wanted to play and win back his cards on the 3rd try. "I will pay you tomorrow," he pleaded. "Just give me back my cards and let us play again." But Simeon refused, knowing it would be hard to collect from him. Tikboy then grabbed Simeon's hand. He was afraid Simeon would go home and end their game. "Come on, let us go to my mom and I will ask for money," Tikboy urged. The dark, 3-foot-wide alleyway leading to the prostitution den inside was a foreign place to Simeon and his family. No one among his family members had seen the inside. All they could do was look at it from across the street. Tikboy dragged him inside a room with a light at the end of the tunnel. Simeon smelled the strong scent of alcohol permeating the room, which had a small reception area and 6 cubicles across from each other. One of the prostitutes, Juanita, was sitting on a chair talking to a customer. Outside one of the cubicles, Tikboy shouted, "Nanay, nanay, pinging piso! Mother, mother, give me 1 peso!" There was no response. Tikboy shouted again, "Nanay, nanay, pinging piso!" His mother, who was inside a curtain-covered cubicle, shouted back, "Putang ng bata ka, huwag mo akong istorbohin. You son of a whore, don't disturb me." But Tikboy ignored her response and shouted again, "Nanay, nanay, pinging piso." When his mother did not respond, Tikboy shouted once more like a broken record, "Nanay, nanay, pinging piso." It seemed he was blackmailing his mother, taking advantage of her helpless and compromising situation. When she realized her son would not stop, Tikboy's mother told somebody inside the cubicle, "Abutan mo nga ang piso ang anak ko para huwag tayong istorbo 1 peso to my son so he won't disturb us." Slowly, a hand holding a peso came out from a side opening of the curtain. Tikboy grabbed the money and ran out of the whorehouse and into the street. Simeon followed him. Tikboy bought 1 peso worth of cards from Simeon, and they played the game of Tex once more. This time, Simeon lost, prompting him to buy back 100 cards with the money Tikboy paid him. When Simeon lost 4 consecutive times, Tikboy was able to get back all the 4 pesos he paid his playmate. It was Simeon's turn to look for money to buy back his cards so he could continue the game, and if lucky, recover all the money. He went inside their printing press and saw his 20-year-old cousin Lida, who was working as his father's receptionist, with her arm propping up her head as she dozed off. Slowly, he opened her side drawer and picked up a 5-peso bill inside a box where he knew the cash receipts for the day were placed. His ka, addressed to an elder relative. Lita would get mad at him once she discovered the money was missing, but he would tell his father beforehand and promise he would work for the money by doing some bindery work in the printing press. If he won his money back from Tick Boy, he would just return it. In the end, after winning 2 games, he ended up losing all his money to Tick Boy. Tick Boy, his mother, and his sister moved out of the neighborhood by the end of summer. Simeon always wondered if Tick Boy's father returned and took care of the family, or a rich customer had married Purita and shouldered the paternal responsibility. The thought of Tick Boy's mother transferring to another prostitution den never crossed Simeon's mind because he would like to believe their move was for the better. In their young, innocent minds, the fact that one boy was the son of a whore did not matter. Unlike adults, kids do not pass judgment on others. Just like Jesus Christ, who said, "Let he who is without sin cast the first stone on a woman sinner," all Simeon knew was that Tick Boy's prostitute mother was just like his own, or any other mother. She simply didn't want her children to get hungry. While her choice of the world's oldest profession may not absolve her from sin, the matter was between her and her Creator and was not his concern. But his memories of the summer of 1957 make him realize he should be careful uttering the expression, "son of a whore," because other people, like his playmate Tick Boy, simply could not help the fact. Their mothers just wanted to survive and maybe provide their children their place in the sun. And that closes the book on this matter. Subscribe to this channel to listen to more enjoyable stories like this. This is episode 6 of the YouTube channel, our Life and Times audiobooks. Betel Nuts and Other Stories is published by Papyrus Books with email address papyrusbooks@yahoo.com. To order a copy of the book, go to amazon.com and enter the name of the author, Simeon Silverio, in the browser.